So the next step in the process, where we've been on the farm to get the barley, we've harvested it, it's rested and dried. We're now at the maltsters here, Thomas Fawcett & Son in Castelford, where we're going to go and explore all the parts of how you turn barley into the malts that we then put into the beer with Theakston to create 3 ridings. So should be a fun day. So is this the original?
This is the original. These buildings here would be the originals. I think the floors were rebuilt in the early 20th century, but the exterior is all the same.
Yeah, right, cool.
Pretty much all the way up. This is the oldest part of the site. So this is the ale malt facilities.
Yeah.
So we've got, this is called F10. So everything's either called F or A. So,
why?
Because F belonged to Fawcett's.
Yeah.
So there were 2 maltings here, the Fawcett's and the Austins. So our barley storage is called A14 because that was historically an Austin maltings.
Yeah.
But somehow one Austin, either an Austin lady and a Fawcett man or the other way around, got hunker-dory together and the Fawcett and Austins conjoined. So that would have been between the wars.
So an old school merger.
Old school merger, exactly. But yeah, so extremely old site. We've got sounding boxes here, which we won't look at because we've got a new, if you see here, we've just cut into these 2 walls. We put in a new burner to heat up the kiln, so there's nothing operating there. Right. But the floors, this is the ancient way to make malt, and in fact, quite fun historically. The malting process would only happen in the winter months, so you wouldn't actually malt between, let's say, April to October, for argument's sake. Purely being before industrial refrigeration was available, you couldn't keep all the malt cool. So maltsters would go and work on farms, sometimes hop farms in the summer. And in fact, my great-great-grandfather had a cricket team back on the farm, so often he'd get his side out and looking at the fixture list, they did no work in the summer, which sounded like a good time to be alive. Now this is the ancient way to make malt, literally like the Egyptians and Romans would have done it. Theakstons, and you guys will be happy about the mighty pearl. So old school, everything in chalkboards, really.
There, cool.
So we'll just pop our noses over and see what's happening here.
So this is after, so the barley that we harvested
Barley harvest.
then sits dormant for 3 months.
Yes, dormant for 3 months. We will then bring the barley into the maltings when we're ready to use it. Now, probably quite a unique thing about us and something we'd ideally love to have more of is barley storage space. We can only store roughly 8,000 tonnes of barley on site. So we have 2 grain stores about 25 miles either side of us, east and west. But anyway, when we're wanting to use the barley, the first stage is the steeping process. Now, you'll recall in storage, ideally you want your grain to have about 12% moisture. So the whole point of the steeping process is to get the moisture content up within that grain. You're reinvigorating it, you're giving it a long soak in the bath, and ideally you're wanting moisture up from 12% to 45%, and then you can begin germination. But it's not just a case of bathing it underwater for 3 days. You have to have periods of wetting and drying.
Oh, right.
So you might have an 8-hour wet, then an 8-hour dry, then a 6-hour wet, a 6-hour dry. You do that sort of 2 to 3 times.
Is that trying to almost like trick it or simulate it as though it's outside and it's raining and then it's not, and it's...
Yeah, and also...
Because if you just wet it, it just goes, no, it's too wet, we're not going to do anything.
Exactly, so you're trying to recreate conditions outside. But yeah, so this, it looks, if you look at it with the camera, you think it's boiling water, but it's not, it's just cool air getting pumped through to help the grain move around.
And how much grain's in here?
This steep holds 7.5 tonnes. So there's 2 steeps there, the 7.5 tonne steeps. So each floor can hold 15 tonnes, which we'll go and see. So these are our smallest steeps. So that's steeping. So you can see all the conveyors it comes through as well.
Yeah.
No, I think that's spelt. In fact, if this has been cast, this might be a nice empty floor.
Yeah, all right.
But let's go down and see. So you see here, this is what you're going to be doing over on the other floor. They're the Bobby pans.
Yeah.
And literally you'll come and you'll have someone at the top who's going to push the grain down, and then you literally stand, bring your Bobby pan here, take away the slider, fill it up, walk it all the way to the end. You can imagine how many trips that takes. And cooling systems, open the fans. If you come and put your hands there, depends how much cool air you let through. So one of the foreman's job on a morning will come and check the temperature, open up the fans accordingly. So
And what do you want this room cool, do you?
15 to 18 degrees.
So when it's really racing hot outside,
It's a nightmare.
It's hard.
Really hard work. I mean, there are some, I don't know how you guys, do you have aircon at Ellis Farm? No. I mean, people were in pretty bad moods a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
And it was bad. I was fishing and I was calling up from the fishing and getting one word answer.
Oh, the distillery in the summer is just roasting because it's a metal structure.
Oh, it's really
just hot. And then you've got the stills in there, so it just gets hotter.
Shit. do you think people are going to start incorporating aircon into their offices now, or not quite yet?
I think so.
No. Well, you're from Australia, so it's probably, you only have it for 1 week, don't we? So everybody needs it. Anyway, so right, so we've got a bit of pearl on the floor here. So look at this. It's on day, do you know what day we're on here, Dean?
Not sure, it might be day 3 actually.
Day 3.
No,
Needs to
doesn't
get-
say, does it?
Doesn't say, yeah.
I think we cast this on Sunday, I think.
Sunday.
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday.
Brilliant.
No, Saturday.
Okay. Saturday, so day 4.
Yeah.
Day 4. So this, after, let's just call it 3 days steeping, it will then get transferred to the floor here, and this is going to be on the floor for, quite biblically, 7 days. And in that 7-day period, 2 things are happening really. This is the germinating time. So we've got enzymatic changes happening, the breakdown of cell walls to get the starch readily available, and also the breakdown of proteins within the grain. So they're the 2 sort of biological, scientific changes occurring, and also shoots and acrospires are being grown. So it's a bit like growing hair, I guess.
Yeah.
You can see all these roots coming through, and that's why you want to rake the floor and machine edge it, probably, depending on how hot it is. The hotter it is, the more you do it, but once or twice a day. And there, you're just breaking off these roots, because believe it or not, if they get long, they'll start to strangle the grain and stop germination, so you really can't. And it also, if they get really clumpy together, they mat together, and it gets far too hot. So that's why you want a grain bed to be very even, like it is now, and keep turning it to let that cool air come through, and don't let it get above 15 to 18 degrees. You can do a test called the Maltster's chalk. We won't do it now because it won't be ready. But you just nip off the root end and you squeeze it, and that white creamy starch comes out into your thumb, and that's when you know, let's get this puppy onto the kiln.
So what's the difference between the more modern ways and this? Does it actually deliver a difference at the end, or not really?
I think if you were to look at it on a lab sheet of paper, the question would be no.
Yeah.
But if you were, I mean, I think with anything in time, if you allow your malt longer to germinate, you're giving it a chance to develop fuller flavours. So on a spec sheet, maybe not. Taste in your glass, who knows, you'd hope so.
Yeah.
But I think our motto really here is we like to do everything a bit later. So even in the modern machinery, we tend to germinate for an extra day, just to give that grain more of a chance to develop a fuller flavour.
Yeah.
We're not rushed, and I think that's the beauty about being small and not being under pressure to pump out large volumes of grain. We do have that option to take things a bit further and have the point of difference
Yeah.
But also space-wise. So the reason a lot of modern maltsters have moved away from the floors, look at this, a pretty hefty area of floor we've got here, and that's holding 15 tons of grain. I mean, that's sod all when you come and look at the germinating kilning vessel, which can hold 52 tons. Also, the amount of men it requires to operate a floor is a lot more than our germinating kilning vessel, which is all automated. Of course, if that goes wrong, then you're having to climb in and it's a bloody arseache to sort out. But on the floors, this is where most of the manual things happen.
Yeah.
But it's you know, it's great to do it the ancient way.
Yeah.
And we'll keep working with the floors as long as we can, really. What really we need to do is do a line-up test. We'll invite Warminster up, who are fully floor-made, and we'll get a few of the others, and we'll all put their brewer's best beers on the table and just see which one works. It'll be a fun day out.
Oat malt, or oats, increasingly popular in the craft ale brewing world. They give a weaker beer, more of a sort of mouthfeel, fuller mouthfeel, and obviously they tend to impart that really sort of creamy haziness that sort of, what's it called, New England IPA, that style of beer has. So
I'm not an IPA.
5 or 6 years ago, we hardly made any oat malt, but due to the boom, like in the USA, we're now making and exporting loads. These barrows are called Boby barrows, B-O-B-Y. That was a manufacturer of malting and brewing equipment and milling equipment in Leeds. And obviously they'd fabricate the machine, everything. So each barrow gets filled, wheeled down the floor and tipped into a pile. So is this the point you want to have a bit of a go, Chris?
Yeah, sure. Got it now.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Start there. And let it all out now, I think. Fantastic. Turn the brush upside down and just sort of gently skim it across. And the idea is just to level it all out, obviously.
Follow that line or that
Follow
line?
this one you're in.
Watch him do it.
Right.
Oh, right, okay. So I
I'm not doing the whole floor.
I thought you were going to finish it off for us.
No, so just steady away. Just basically get you sort of. So I tend to look at something straight ahead, and then you get a nice straight line like that. That's spot on, Chris.
Lovely.
When we send some Pearl to Theaksons in three weeks' time, we'll be able to tell them that it's literally hand raked by Chris Rabella's farm.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I told you.
And Dean's come back. Oh, he's done all the work for me.
But you feel the bits though where it's obviously joined together, like over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
this is why-
Suddenly it's like an extra 20, 30 kilos through your leg.
This is why I'm going to get the turner through it again this afternoon.
Like, if some bits come up rough, it needs doing again.
Yeah, there's a lot of quirks which don't really make sense on this site, but you've got to roll with it.
I'm sure they did at some point.
Yeah, I mean, you can see here, so we've got a fairly big project which just happened, which is moving away from coal to gas.
Yeah.
So that's going to save us some cash as well, because someone has to get up in the middle of the night to come stoke the fire. And all the floormen want to do that job, because you get a lot of cash for coming in and doing it.
Oh, right. Excellent.
And for not doing a lot of work.
Overtime.
Yeah. Lights are already on. So this is in the kiln. Yeah, it's hot. Have a feel of the grain. Feel how dry that is.
Yeah, wow.
Getting that ready. But again, more oats, oats, oats. Everyone loves oats. It's a bit like Steve was saying, it's not just having a lot of nitrogen, because we're not selling people high nitrogen barley, because we don't want to do that, high nitrogen malt. What you do is you add a load of oats in, and that will cloud your beer up.
Oh, right, okay.
So, oat sales in the last 10 years as times 6, times 5, times 6. Oats is literally the king.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is it just indirect heat from the air?
Yeah.
Or is it coming from
It's
underneath?
coming from below.
Oh, okay.
So there's literally a big coal fire somewhere below. We have to get our coal from South Wales, because that's whatever the closest place you can get it from. So it's not cheap. But the kilning process, basically at the end of germination, when all these enzymatic changes have occurred, the breakdown of cell walls, we're feeling as maltsters this grain is good to go. And we transform it, or transport it I should say, up to the kiln, and here we're stopping the process, but it's gradual. So you'll begin by setting it to about 55 degrees, so it's slowly drying the grain, because we want to reach something called breakthrough. If I whacked, let's say your pale ale malt, so your pearl, which we're getting to about 95 degrees Celsius to get it to its final colour. If I whack that on the kiln and put it up to 95 degrees, that will destroy everything that's been done downstairs. It will kill the grain, no good. So what we do is we slowly heat it up at about 55 degrees. You reach breakthrough, which is about 6% moisture. Might have to fact check me there. 6 or 10% moisture, because you remember the moisture gets up from the steam, and then you can get cooking basically. And for pale ales, it's about 95 degrees. And the kilning process, typically 3 days. So 3, 7, 3, 13 days, just shy of 2 weeks work, and the grain is good to go really.
Yeah, wow.
So that is, but you'll do all your pale ale malts in the kiln, so your low colour Marisotas, your extra pales, your spring pales. It's amazing the different colours you can get from putting it on the same kiln, just depending on temperature.
Yeah.
And also things like Vienna and Munich malt as well, which are closer to your closer to the crystals, but not made in the crystal plant.
So this is effectively just drying.
This is just the drying process.
And
the
then-
drying and the end of germination.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it's roasting is a separate process.
That's a separate process.
Yeah.
So that is all your ale malts. Morning, Will. Yeah, good. How are you? Good lad. Right. So here we go. It's very humid. So that one's been empty, so they'll be emptying here. Everything's very humid. Crystal malt's slightly different to your pale ale malts. So it all starts again in the steep. Rather than getting up to 45%, we're getting up to 48% moisture, extra 3%. We also get the grain out wet, as opposed to getting it out dry. And in terms of germinating, so you'll see salad in boxes. In fact, look here, we can see more here. If you look at the end, see these turners? These were created by a gentleman, a Frenchman, called Jules Saladin, hence the name Saladin box. And it was during the Industrial Revolution, and he was playing with a salt and pepper grinder one night, and he thought, oh wow, look how that works. Can this work in a Maltings? And sure as ice it can. So these things will just turn themselves all the way down here, breaking up the grain.
Right.
And if you look at that, there's 27 tons in here. Compare this to the floors. This is, I'd argue, a smaller room than the floors. And yet you've got, whatever, 81 tons of malt coming through. Now we can do the maltsters chalk test. As this is all ready to come out, also we're germinating at a slightly higher temperature here, 18 to 23 degrees. Oh yeah. Okay, take some of that. What we'll do, now the test you want to do, if you hold the root end, pinch it off, and then rub it between your fingers. That's about on, let's go again.
That.
You got it? Yeah, we want it to be more chalky really. Here we go. the maltster's chalk, all that sort of white stuff you want to see, and that's all the starch.
Yeah, right.
What we're doing is we're mimicking the brewer, all the distiller, the brewing part of the distilling, in what we have here are drum roasting machines. So what we're doing here, after germination, which is about 6 days, we're putting the grain into the roasting drums, and we're cooking it at top temperatures of 155 degrees. And what we're doing is we're crystallizing that starch. So we're turning that starch almost into sugar to get that color formation for the brewer to then get his darker beer. So your pale ale malts, that starch is all ready for the brewer to do that. Here we're kind of taking it that step further and getting those the different amounts of the color, but also sweetness. So you add crystal malt to any beer, you get a real sweetness because the crystallization has happened here.
Okay.
So we can come through and hopefully have a look at some and try some. These boxes hold between a ton and a ton and a half. So it's very small batch sizes, which gives us great quality control. Now we don't roast on time. It's not put your turkey in the oven and wait 2 hours. It's all about visuals. So what we'll do, 3 boxes always running. Now we roast 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Try some of that. So this to me looks like maybe a dark crystal, either crystal or dark. And just have a try. Dark crystal. That sort of sweetness to it. You want to try some? So, quite a nice place to come and have a snack. What I love about this, if you want to check how your grain's doing, let's have a look there. Try that again. That can be on the bloopers.
Yeah.
Try again. Right. Fucking hell. There, you can just check how far along it is. And what you do, if I can just get through here. Your farrier blade, a roaster's best friend. There we go. It's made a better sound. Now what you see, you're looking at the different colours and you want them for dark crystal, you probably go for that one there. And as long as about the good majority is showing that colour, we'll start sending samples off to the lab, and when they say good to go. So, here's Martin, he's been here a long time. Is this dark crystal?
Yeah, it's 200.
200, okay, good. Brilliant. Roasted it. So it's a shorter process to get your darker malts. Yeah. But also look at the different colours. Look at that compared to that. They've gone through exactly the same process, just a tiny bit less time. That looks like amber malt to me. Have a go on that. It's a bit more bitter. If you were brewing a beer and you had, you know, hundreds of kilograms of pale malt and you put in a handful of this, it'll make your beer go black. Well, not black, but it really adds colour.
That was why I was surprised with ours being a porter style beer.
Yeah, 4%.
It was only 4%.
Crazy.
And yet it's a dark dark beer.
So it's important in a place as farm.
Yeah, I see what you mean by the coffee flavours.
I really like it.
Yeah.
You could probably brew a coffee with this.
Probably.
Yeah, I might try it.
It's ironic as you guys are maltsters, you grew the special, was it Laureate?
Halcyon.
Halcyon.
Yeah.
And then it missed the grade, so it's a low yielder anyway.
Yeah.
And now you're at
It's
low price.
And John, so the Richmonds who we met, they on their farm they grow craft, not Halcyon. But I think we've got one field where it's worked. So we've got about 4 fields of it. I think one has been good, the other's less good.
What's the price difference between feed grade and malt grade?
15
Percentage?
quid. John, price difference between feed barley and your malting barley? 10 to 15 quid?
If you're looking at winters, probably 10 to 15. If you're looking at springs, 25 to 30 usually.
And Marisota, 50, 60?
50, 60, yeah,
Yeah.
at least.
And what are
least.
they as percentages?
Percentages, 160, so 10% and 20% and probably 40%.
Okay, so 40% of
Yeah,
that,
because it's
that
such a...
hurts. 10% is not
If you're talking about
horrible.
Marisota, you're talking about an old variety that's low yielding and plenty of disease problems with it, so you need to pay a big premium to get it grown.
Yeah, like yours.
Yeah. Damn and blast, as they say.
Worth a go.
Well, yeah, to be fair, there's one field, I think 1 or 2 have passed, but a couple haven't, I think. It's disappointing when you look at all the winters around us have been quite good. But I think we got our fertiliser on too late.
You don't need it from me really, but it's time to let Halcyon go. It's a variety from the past, and it always was a bit thin in a time like this. You'll never get it to any good.
Yeah. Well,
There you go. Yeah.
we like a point of difference. We like a point of difference.
Swim against.
Do you know what? It's so true though. The amount of Yorkshire brewers that want to do a special Yorkshire brew using it because it's the only place it's grown does add a fun story.
As long as they're willing to pay.
Yeah. We don't charge that high a premium for Halcyon anyway. Yeah. Well, I have to start reviewing pricing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
As Sean was saying, you start off doing all that, and then it does get quite tiring. Like that. If you're in on the weekend and there's 3 floors like that to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's because it's almost like running in soft sand.
Yeah.
Because you're just like pushing against something that's moving.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Don't go too quick. It's just a matter of plodding along.
Yeah.